Welcome! This tutorial will go over how to use the Web Grants application system to submit a proposal for the FY2022 Research Call for Proposals. First, you will log in. Instructions for registration can be found in our manual if needed. Upon logging in, you will come to the dashboard page, which lists information you have submitted or that we have submitted back to you to respond to. Applications, once begun, will show up in the approaching deadlines area when there are less than 30 days in the submission period. To get started on your application, you will navigate to the funding opportunities. The page you come to will show the currently posted funding opportunities. You want to find the opportunity with the title FY2022 Call for Proposals, which is under the State Planning and Research Program area. Select the row. The new page you come to will show you the funding opportunity details. This is where general information about the call is specified. Please read the description carefully to ensure you are following our office's instructions. At the bottom, you will find pertinent documents related to the call, including the research proposal template, which is used for part of the application, the PDF file of all the research requests for proposals, which also has a navigable table of contents to each individual RRFP in Adobe, and the research manual, which has very detailed information about the research office's processes and procedures. Scrolling back to the top, you'll notice that the top portion shows any other applications you are working on and their current status. For now, we'll select New Application on the right-hand side across from Funding Opportunity Details. Here you'll fill in the preliminary information about your application. The title of your project does not necessarily have to match the name of the request for proposal if you'd prefer to have a different title. I'll just put in something simple. The lead PI should be the primary contact, but I'll select my name for now. Then you'll need to select Save Form Information. Scroll back down. Here you'll select your organization from the drop-down if it's not already selected, and Save Form Information again. And then here you'll need to add any additional applicants. Please add all of your co-PIs that you are applying with here as well. Their names should be in the Web Grant system, so that way you can select them. Please have them register if they are not already there otherwise. And we'll add a coworker. Save the information one more time, and you'll be brought to the Application Details homepage. Here you will see the 5 components of the application. Notice the check mark right by the general information. This is the section that we just filled in. The other sections here are the research proposal, deliverables and milestones, additional documentation, and SPR budget. I'll go ahead and select the research proposal. Under the research proposal section, you will see 2 areas to fill in. First, select the RRFP number to which you are responding. This will help the research office ensure your proposal is sent to the correct subject matter experts for review. Each request for proposal is numbered in the PDF document cited in the instructions on our webpage and the description of the funding opportunity. After selecting your RRFP, the next area is where you need to attach your proposal narrative, the template for which is also in the description for the funding opportunity and on our website. For reference, here is what the template looks like that you should be turning in. Please be sure to fill in all sections and note that there is a 7-page limit. This limit helps to ensure timely review of all applicant materials by our subject matter experts. When your proposal template is ready, you simply need to click Select File and find the one that you want to add. At this point, you'll need to select Save Form. And scrolling back down, you will see that this information is now saved. This is a clickable link. The other thing that happens is this orange button pops up that says Mark is complete. Once you're ready, go ahead and select that item and you'll be taken back to the Application Details home screen. and where you'll see a green check mark now next to the research proposal section. Each section, by the end of the application, must have a green check mark in order to submit the application, which we will see near the end of the tutorial. Next, go to the Deliverables and Milestones section by clicking the row again. In the Deliverables and Milestones section, we highly suggest that you read the directions carefully on each screen to ensure you are making the most of your application. The areas in blue on this page denote instructions. To add a deliverable or milestone, select the Add Row button at the top or bottom of each section. For each additional row, you will be taken to a new page to add that information. Please note that there are additional instructions on the Deliverables page. Input each of your deliverables in chronological order, and when complete, click Save Row. Quickly add an example. This is one that will be normally on all of our applications, because this is a requirement by the Research Office, also a requirement by FHWA. You'll click Save Row, and this will take you back to the previous screen where the deliverable will now be seen in that individual row. Choose to add another row, or now you can mark the section as complete if you so choose. If you want to edit a deliverable or milestone, you'll need to click the row. And it will take you back to the page where you can edit it. This is also the place where you'd have to delete one as well. You see the Delete Row option button there. But I want to keep mine, so I'm going to save it. Now for doing the milestones, you will also want to click Add Row, not mark as complete yet. These will also be added in chronological order. We do want to make specific note of the last two entries. First, I'll add a little bit of information. For the first option, the Research Office wants to know the number of months into a project that a task will be done, not how many months it will necessarily take. This will help us understand when tasks should be completed during the life of a project, depending on when it starts. Then, entering the budget percentage, this should be the amount for each individual task. These should all add up to 100% when completed. Doing an example with the literature review, we also now have an option too for ongoing, along with a single-digit number of months. I'll save that one, and we'll do another example here. Task 2. Perhaps we have some additional testing, but this we don't expect to be completed until a little bit further into the project. So testing might take something like 6 to 10 months, but it's actually going to be done in month 15. And then this is going to maybe take 25–30% of the budget percentage. You'll click Save Row, and once you're done, the budget percentage should all add to 100%. And again, when you're done, you'll select Mark as Complete. And this will take you back again to the application details page. From here, we'll go into the next section, which is the additional documentation. And here is where you will add your CVs or resumes. Use the Add New Attachment button to add your attachments. The Add Attachment button will produce a dialog box this time to easily fill in the name of the document and the description. Go ahead and select your files, and in the description, cite them as they are mentioned in the blue instructions. We'll save that file. We'll add one more, since I have a make-believe co-PI. There we go. Make sure we put it in correctly. We'll save that file as well. And as before, we'll select Mark as Complete when we're done. And yet again, we'll come back to the application details page. Lastly, we'll go to the SPR budget section. Here you will see an approximation of the TDOT budget page. Research does not require grantee participation or in-kind expenses, which are these two columns here. Only if your organization plans to contribute to the execution of a project should you fill in the grantee participation column. In-kind expenses are extremely rare. We expect applicants will leave this column blank. Go ahead and select Edit Grid if you need to. Now for the budgetary section, we have just a couple items to note. Please make sure to use the professional fee, grant, and award option for any subcontracting you plan to do with other entities and for graduate assistant tuition coverage. Previously, organizations have used the specific assistance to individuals section, but this is reserved for monies that would be paid out to people for items that do not relate to doing work for a project. Additionally, capital purchases, if they should be necessary for a project, should be included for any physical items that will cost more than $5,000. If they are necessary, TDOT will also need to determine what will be done with the equipment after the completion of a project. This, however, is rare as a requirement. Here now we'll fill in an example for what a general $250,000 budget over 2 years might normally look like with a public university. We have some pre-prepared numbers. We will be filling in those areas. And our example will include both subcontracting and graduate assistant tuition. Supplies are generally the lowest. Travel is usually somewhat vaguely budgeted, but it can be included in your budget justification. And then with our public universities, TDOT uses the 15% indirect cost rate for public universities as part of the Tennessee Board of Regents agreement. Go ahead and save the grid. And you'll see it adds to $250,000. In the next sections down here, you'll need to fill them in if they are filled in above. Most commonly, this will occur for the professional fees entry. You will need to define this further, so we'll do the example. Go ahead and add a row. The description here is going to be your graduate assistant tuition over the 2 years that they are with you. Put in an approximate guess, but we'll still need to add another row, so we have more fees. This one is going to be for the subcontractor. We'll say it's a private entity. You'll tell us which organization it is if you already know. And whatever they will be charging you. No other items are going to need to be filled in. But you would do the same for any other items that may come into play for your project. The professional fees, of course, is commonly the only one. Now at the bottom here is an area for adding your budget justification. Select Edit Form. I'll just scroll back down again. And what you should see is a rich text box. You can either enter the information manually here, or you can also use the Paste from Word function. For the example that we have, we took a Word budget justification that we'd written out, where we pressed Control A, copied the information, and then we'll go into this button here that says Paste from Word. When you hover over it, we'll just go ahead and select Control V to paste it. Click OK, and you'll see that the information is popped up here in the appropriate format. Looks like there was something that got misread here, so we would have to just make sure that we edit that appropriately. And just as a note, it's best to not go too wild on your formatting because your paste function might have issues just like that one. So please make sure your budget justification is clearly outlined for best readability, and also make sure that it's under 2 pages when formatted in Word. When you're done, you can click Save Form. Go back through and review all of your information again to make sure it is written in the way that you want it. And then when you select Mark as Complete in any area, it'll take you back again to the Application Details page. Now we'll make note of some final things. In terms of navigation, if you go back in and you want to edit something, you'll click the row again, you'll edit your form. You also have the option to click Next and Previous at the bottom. This is also there when you're originally editing the document. The only thing is that it won't automatically mark your section as complete. So make sure you press that orange button whenever it's available. And you're ready to do so. Another thing that you'll see up here is once you click into any of the areas, the tabs at the top of your page will change. These are going to be the 5 different areas that you can go into and edit for your application, and then the app list is the application details page. Other things that you can do are preview the application. When you do this, this is more or less what we will see from the TDOT perspective. We'll go back to get to this original page. Another thing that you can do, and that we suggest to only do through web grants, is to ask a question. Let's say, should I include anything else? Not a great question. Maybe don't make it that vague. That would be how you submit one. This is going to take you to the preview page. You can edit the application here to ask another question, but in order to go back to the application details page, you'll have to hit that back button. The application details page is also important because it's the place that you will submit your application. You also have the option to withdraw it. If something's gone wrong, we can't help you figure out a way to edit it, etc. Or maybe this is like your 5th application, you don't want it to be considered, you can withdraw it. But when you're ready, you'll go ahead and select Submit Applications. It'll give you another dialog box prompt to confirm that this is what you want to do. Select Submit, and then you'll see your current applications page pop up. Keep in mind this should only be up to 4 applications total. And then you're done. So thank you for watching this tutorial, and thank you for submitting your applications through the web grant system. And we wish you the best of luck in your submissions for the FY2022 call for proposals.